guy, Brian Baldinger, Regression Fourier. Baldy, good morning.
Good morning, Christian. Good to be with you guys.
Are you just
getting ready for the big game? Yeah.
Are you just coming home? Are you coming home? Just getting in? Just getting in, Baldy, from those late nights? Well, come on. We know you. Come on.
No, I was out last night. I was out. I mean, a lot of peer pressure, to get out and stay out.
Yeah.
But I did an Irish exit at around 1. And I bailed going, you slappies get to suck on your pillow till noon. I have to go bust it here. So
yeah, you got to put a suit on and get on TV. Yeah. I'm a fan of the. I
had to do that.
I'm a fan of the ninja dust, and then I create a diversion with some ninja dust, and then I leave, so nobody really knows. It's like I disappear,
like a magician.
Yeah, like a magician.
You're like David Blaine.
Yeah, exactly. And it fits in Vegas. Baldy, I want to start with this because I thought it was. We just put this up. There was a picture of Georgia's tight end Brock Bowers with Gronk, and in the background you were there. Yeah, and I sat there and I was like, wow, the picture shows Brock Bowers as being a very unathletic, lame-looking, weak football player, and I know that's not the case. I mean, I know it's not the case, but it was. I'm just give me your your boots on the ground evaluation of this guy who's probably going to go top 10 in the draft this year.
Well, I saw the same thing because I was using the same set. In fact, I was on right after Gronk to do something with Anthony Munoz. So, I saw Gronk, and then I saw Brock, and I'm like, he had a pair of shorts on. It doesn't look, it's not like Gronk's lost a lot of weight, but he's still, a huge guy. And I thought, man, they really play the same position.
Yeah.
I said the exact same thing. He looked exactly as you described him. But he doesn't play like that.
Yeah.
He plays fast. He's got great hands. But he's just, Gronk had the tremendous size and reach. And he's got him. He must have him by at least 2 inches, maybe 3. But nonetheless, this is I don't know if he's top 10. I don't know that because I don't know how the quarterback's going to get pushed and all that. But he's going to be the first tight end off the board and maybe the second receiver off the board. So, he runs great routes. He's got great hands, and he's been a part of, 3 great seasons at Georgia.
Baldy, I'm going to stick at the tight end position because, as you can imagine, Christian Fourier's told us about the immense importance of the tight end, even getting Charlie Weiss to tell us about it and all that kind of stuff.
He did it on his own.
He did. I'm curious for you, Baldy. Are tight ends missing the boat by just not being functional at blocking? Are all the tight ends that are coming into the league now pretty much kind of glorified wide receivers, or are there still some high-end dudes that will stick their faceplate right in someone's chest and try to drive them off the ball?
Well, I think Sam Laporta, had a great season blocking, in addition to being an elite receiver and playmaker for the Detroit Lions. Luke Musgrave, before he got hurt, was blocking pretty good in Green Bay. You see it. It's a little rare. Dalton Kincaid's not a blocker, and so you got to work around it. But obviously Kittle and in this Super Bowl, Kelsey isn't that guy, but he'll get in the way, and he doesn't want to get run over or stampeded as sometimes you do at the line of scrimmage. But they're getting harder and harder to find. They're basically glorified wide receivers. They want to be paid like that. But what Gronk, what Christian could do, as a true Y, they're getting harder and harder to find throughout the league. And really, it was a great tight end draft, but Laporta was by far the best run blocker of all the guys that came out last year.
So we're talking to Brian Baldinger, and so I'm curious what the vibe is out there with these two teams, with the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the fact that the 49ers are favored, not by a lot, it's amazing that the Chiefs get to play the disrespect card. How are you seeing it out there?
Yeah. Look, I think this stadium, the city is going to get overrun by 49er fans. Antonio Pierce is not a fan of this game at all. I talked to the new head coach of the Raiders. His biggest nemesis is the Chiefs, and then their arch rival has always been the 49ers up in the Bay. So they're going to be everywhere here. They've already started showing up. But, I was surprised that Kansas City was the underdog in this game. I'd play that role. Whatever it takes to get you ultra focused for this kind of a game, you use, and certainly that is something that that you could play upon. But the Chiefs have been favorites; they've been underdogs. I think they just know what to do and how to prepare and how to get themselves ready.
Brian Baldinger is with us from out in Las Vegas. Of course, Super Bowl's this weekend. You could hear it right here on WEEI. There's been a lot of talk of Brock Purdy, but Baldy, in your mind, who kind of has more at stake reputation-wise, Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes in this chase of trying to catch Tom Brady?
Well, I mean, it's entirely possible that both could play great, and you're still going to only have one winner. Mahomes has lost the Super Bowl, but he's playing in his fourth. I mean, he's compiling numbers and appearances and things like that could only really be matched by what Tom Brady did over the course of his career. I don't like to compare him. Nobody really wants to compare these two. I mean, Tom Brady it still almost seems unachievable, even at the success that Mahomes is having. It seems unachievable for anybody at this point to get 7. But, look, it's a conversation point. I think Brock Purdy, I mean, I just don't understand any of the commentary out there that questions whether he's a great quarterback. I think he's just a silent assassin, and he go about his business a little bit different than other people, maybe because of where he comes from or how he looks. But that's how you have to play big games. And if there's turnovers, if there's mistakes, you have to either live with it or overcome them. But you can't play it safe and hide your quarterback in a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, and when I think about whenever you talk about Brock Purdy, it's the lazy game manager kind of that everybody uses, and I would say Patrick Mahomes is a game manager. Like, aren't all great quarterbacks? Don't they just manage the game and the situation, and when they need to do something fantastic, they have the ability to do it, or they have the guts to do it? Isn't that kind of what you're asked to do in the first place?
Yeah, you are. I mean, look, they're all commanders. Honestly, like you got to command everything. The flow of the game. The defense makes a mistake. You're down 17 at halftime. Like, you got to ramp it up a little bit. Like, you always should be managing the game, and it has a negative connotation to it. Well, anybody could do this. I mean, that's sort of like, you could replace Brock Purdy with 10 other quarterbacks; they'd be just as good. Well, you can't. Like, I don't think there's 10 quarterbacks that can win a Super Bowl, and we'll find out if Brock can or not. But there's not many that can actually go the distance here. They can get close, they can get to the playoffs, they can win in the playoffs, but he's going to need 5 outrageous throws that we look back on the game, you're like, wow, not everybody can make that throw. And if 49ers are going to win, he's going to be in that predicament.
Well, Brian, I wonder if this is the kind of game where if kind of Kyle Shanahan can sort of draw up the script, that it would be a 50-50 split between running and passing, if not maybe leaning a little more towards that run game if they can establish it. How do you think Kyle Shanahan will try to attack what is a very good Chiefs defense? People are sleeping on their defense a little bit.
No, I don't know. They shouldn't. I think it's the best side of the ball in this whole game, Kansas City's defense. They've been as good as anybody all year long. And they have so many good young players. I mean, in McDuffie and Watson and, Karlaftis. I mean, they have some really talented young players that, are smart and play smart. So, but, I mean, I agree. Like, if you go back to the Detroit game, 10 of the first 20 plays went to McCaffrey. Now, some of them were passes, but, I mean, they're going to try to get him going and then, make the running game pay off with some of the play action shot plays that Kyle can draw up, and we'll see how Kansas City defends that. But they're also going to face, a number of different type of blitzes. And talking to Spags last weekend in that great Massachusetts accent of his, he said, like, I'm always looking for those plays, Baldy, where I can get free hitter to the quarterback. I'm always looking for the opening. And that's really kind of the challenge. Like, how do you handle that? Do you have an answer when it comes? And the Ravens didn't have a very good answer. Neither did Buffalo, neither did Miami, because they're going to come, and you don't know where they're going to come and when, because it's not dictated by down distance field position. It's just this feel that Steve has in dialing up some of the pressures that he does.
So, Andy Reid's been a big topic lately with just will he stay, will he go? I know he addressed it the other day. He says, this is not the day that I retire. I feel like this is a new story that came out of nowhere based on, I don't know, like Andy's age and his accomplishments.
Yeah.
Do you think he has any willingness to walk away from the game at this point in time?
No way. I don't think there's even a remote possibility. I know Andy, not like I don't know him great, but I've known him since the day he got the job in Philadelphia. And, I mean, this is what Andy does. He doesn't have any hobbies. And he said that the other day on the podium. And he doesn't fish. He doesn't play golf. He's not a vacationer, although he's got a nice home in Southern California on the beach. He tells me he visits it every once in a while. But this is what he does. I mean, he loves to tinker. He's got the best player in the league. And not that he's just there to ride the wave. I mean, he's there to make them competitive every year. And this is what drives them. It always has. And so I don't think he would have any more fun doing anything else besides what he's doing right now. And the amount of success that he's having and the way the team still responds to him, like they always have that thing, well, players get tired of it. I don't think players ever get tired of Andy. Like, he's funny. He's engaging. He knows how to push buttons. Players like winning. Like L'Jarius Sneed has been a great player for the Chiefs. He's going to get paid a whole lot of money to play corner probably someplace else next year. I mean, players, they can get their second and third contracts winning the type of games that they keep winning. I mean, Andy's making a lot of these guys wealthy young men right now, and I don't think he's looking to do anything else.
Is he sleep at the office type of guy at this point in time of his career, or do you think he has a more manageable schedule that will allow him to just avoid the massive mundane grind that is the NFL?
Does he sleep there? No, but he's there. He only needs. I mean, it's always been remarkable to me, but he'll tell you, like, he only needs 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. And so, I mean, I don't know how you function. And he's not a caffeine guy. He doesn't drink any caffeine.
What?
Right there. Yeah. And so, like, look, you give Andy Reid, a pint of Haagen-Dazs and, some midnight oil. Like, he's working. He's working. He's tinkering. He loves that. He's looking at film. He's looking at next year's prospects at quarterback. I mean, he never gets away from it at all.
Insider calls are brought to you by Old Spice Gentleman's Blend Body Wash, providing exfoliating plus 24/7 miniaturization because men have skin too. Talking to our guy, Brian Baldinger, who is out in Las Vegas. Baldy, a lot of people are focusing on the quarterbacks. You touched on the defense a little bit, but what are your one or two sort of key deciding sort of factors in this game?
Well, I want to see San Francisco's defense like bone up and play like a championship level defense. They've got good players, but they didn't play well against Green Bay. They didn't play well against Detroit. They invest a lot in their defensive front. I haven't seen Javon Hargrave do a lot this year. I've seen Chase Young show up in bits and pieces. I haven't seen Eric Armstead make a play in the postseason. I know the effort you're going to get from Bosa, but I'd like to see their defensive front show up, get off blocks, disengage, play with low pad level. It's the basics of football, and I think they need to get back to the basics to win this game. I think it kind of starts up front for San Francisco. They're not a big blitz team. They kind of rely on their front four to control the line of scrimmage, and if they don't do that, this game could get away from them.
Is Chase Young going to play? Because I remember at the NFC Championship game, I saw John Lynch and some other reports about just showing him loafing and not chasing the play down. Is he been reprimanded? Is he going to play, do you think?
Well, he's going to play, but, I mean, the effort has to be better. He's been guilty of that in the past when he was in Washington. I pointed it out a couple of times. He's not a fan when I do it, but I do it because it has to be said. And, peer pressure is a great thing in football, right? So, you sit in the film room and, there goes somebody on the other side of the field and you're in the middle of a loaf. Like, it's got to be, you have to understand, like, that's just not acceptable. I've also seen Chase do exactly that. Like, chase everything down and just hunt him up. And so, he's got to get his RPMs rolling in this game right now. They need him to play big.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I don't know if you saw the play, Gresh, or not, but it was amazing that in an NFC Championship game, just la-di-da, someone will grab him. Oh, no, no one will. Oh, geez. Oh, Joe, no. I was lazy, so I missed it. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And we all saw it. And it's something that, hopefully, if you're a real pro, you make sure that you're never seen in that light again, and that whatever it takes to give him the 60 best snaps you've got, that's what they need because they don't really have great reinforcements. Randy Gregory, I mean, you look across the depth chart of the 49ers, it's probably not the deepest group that they've had at this level right now, and so they need their starters. I expect Bosa to play nearly every play. But Chase, too, like, there's not going to be a big rotation. He needs to be out there and he needs to impact the game.
Well, we appreciate you joining us all year, Baldy. This has been a ton of fun. Hopefully we get to reload and do it again next year. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Thanks a bunch. It's been great chats, and maybe we can do it again around the draft.
All right, guys. I look forward to it, man. Enjoy it.
All right, thanks, Baldy.
Appreciate you.
Having me. I appreciate you.
There we go. There goes Brian Baldinger, and he is brought to us by Old Spice. Men have skin too. Our insider calls. Baldy's been great, and you know what?
I love him.
It is not that much to say to Chase Young. There's a reason you're in San Francisco, and Montez Sweat got traded to Chicago and got a contract extension. Give me your 60 best plays. I mean, seriously, and if you're... I'm
amazed that I
you have to talk him into it.
Am, which is insane.
That's why the guy doesn't have the big contract.
It's the Super Bowl. Why do I have to... What about this atmosphere? You cannot figure it out for yourself.
Right.
He literally was like, somebody else will get him.
It was terrible.
It was like a sour grapes. You know what? Someone had not worth it. And next thing you know, the back runs right by him. And he does the lame,
awful,
lazy,
Mac
boring
gave a better
arm.
effort tackling than
Mac
Chase
was
Young
willing to
did.
get it. I think that's a big issue. I think sometimes high-level players are afraid to be embarrassed even when tackling.
Got it.
So, hey, I don't want to get run over, even though, you know what, I'll make the tackle. I'd rather avoid it so I'm not on somebody's highlight film.
Right. You're not running me over, Christian Okoye.
Yeah, but I can stop the touchdown from happening, but I got to protect my rep.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't get it with the talking guys into giving your best effort in championship games. This is where if you're Chase Young, this is where you look and go, man, I'm fortunate to be in this spot. And if I want to go get paid, ball out in the Super Bowl. I mean, think about it. You know what?
It's too late now.
Well, but if he balls...
He's a Trent Brown type of guy.
Well, but that's what I was going to say. If he balls out, this can be his Jadeveon Clowney moment. No one made more money off of a hit in a bowl game than Jadeveon Clowney. Right.
When nobody blocked him.
Right.
And he just shot through and hit a back that was 180 pounds lighter than him.
And yet, because of that, there are people still 10 years later that will do the no pants dance if you brought him in for $11 million.
Yeah. That was always a guy that I was like, man, if I was in the league, I'd love to get my hands on that guy.